In this short video, I'm going to show you how we do data cleaning in the new user interface. And so we can start easily from this view input data files. So we just click that and it takes us right there. And then we can come to a file that's of interest to us. And you can see here, it says food effect data, and then there's a data file under it called food effect data v2. So this data set was derived from this data set. So it's a parent-child relationship. So we can go ahead and we can say, hey, we want to clean this data, or we want to start our data processing. And so that's going to load it up. It by default creates a new name for us, and we can go ahead and start adding data rules. But before we even add data rules, let's look at what our data is. So we can click that button right there, and it's going to load the live data up for you in a browser. And then, as it says, you can scroll to see more data as you come down. You can also filter it. So, for example, if we want to filter this, and we're going to say equal to 0, and then we close that. So now we have all the different 0 times for these subjects. So we can see it looks like we have 2 dosing time zeros for each subject in period 1 and period 2. And there's a fed and fasted for each subject. So we can kind of look at it and see the information that we want. Let's unfilter this and just reset that and close that. So let's just do something simple, which is create the BLQ handling for these samples. And so we can just click add a new rule, and you can search through the different rules. There's data transformation rules. There are text processing rules, and BLQ handling, that's what we want. So for figures and tables, I want to set all the BLQs to 0. And then for my actual PK analysis, I want to set values before the first observation to missing, and then I want to set 0, and then missing after the first observation. So we need to do 2 BLQ handling. So I'm going to click this once, it adds the rule. And I'm going to click that one once, and it adds the rule. So you can see we have these 2 rules here. So I'm going to do this one first. And I'm going to call this BLQ tables plots, and I'm going to call it PK level 1. And so we go ahead and say what are our grouping variables. So you can see it pulls up all the columns that are available. I know subject is 1, so I can start typing in subject. And then I remember it's treatment A is the fed fasted. So we're going to have to sort it by subject and treatment. We could also pull up period if we wanted. So it's going to grab all those that we want to just define it. We're going to pull the time column up. Let's see, it's right there. And then the existing concentration column is this const. And then the new one, we're going to call this one PK level 1. And then, oh, I forgot what the BLQ text is. Really easy. I'm not leaving the screen. I'm just going back here and viewing it. It's BLQ. Perfect. Okay, so I need to find BLQ. And then remember, this is replacing it everywhere. So I'm always going to replace it with a value of 0. So that is it. What it's doing in the background is actually generating JSON for us to do this. This one's a little more complex because it does multiple steps for you, but it'll generate the JSON nonetheless. So I'm going to call this BLQ analysis and PK level 2. And I'm just going to grab all those same variables here, treatment and period. And then I'm going to grab the time column and then the existing concentration, and we're going to call this PK level 2. And then the BLQ task or text to find is going to find BLQ. And see, before the first observation, it's going to impute 0. And I just leave it blank to impute nothing or missing after the first observation. So that's it. We've now handled our BLQs. Now we can actually clean the data or process it by clicking this button up here. So this is going to generate the JSON, encrypt it. It's going to send it up to your account after authentication, and then it's going to be queued for analysis. It's pending, waiting to be analyzed, and then it's going to go ahead and start analyzing it. Now you can stay here on this page. If you want to navigate away, you can, but there's a big advantage to staying here that I'll show you. So it's going to be pending if this is the first time you run data cleaning in the morning or the first time you've run it recently. It might take 20 to 30 seconds to get started because that's sort of the warm-up time for this data cleaning engine that's going to run and do data cleaning. So now it's going to actually be running and start doing your data cleaning. And then when it comes back, so it said it succeeded. If it fails, it'll give you an error. But this little button here says, hey, preview the clean data. So I don't have to leave anywhere. I can look at, say, hey, what did that data look like? I don't have to download anything. I don't have to navigate away. I can just look at it. And you remember we added 2 columns, PK level 1 and PK level 2. Now it adds this BLQ flag for us. We could get rid of that column if we wanted later, but it's just a flag that's being used for this PK level 2. And so you can see everything set to 0 here. Everything before the first observation is 0, but should be missing afterwards. So we should see a difference, and there we go. We see a difference. So this last sample is set to missing in PK level 2, but it's set to 0 here. So there you go. You have data cleaning all ready to go. Now, like I said, you can come back and say, well, I forgot to do something else. So let me close that and come back here and see. It just says day 7, day 1, right? I actually want that to be a text label that's a little easier to read than just a numeric. So I can create a new column. So I'm going to add a column, and then the next thing I'm going to do is a find and replace, and I'll show you why I'm going to do both. So first is, so we're going to call this the day add day text. And so the column is going to be named day underscore text. You can have spaces, but I don't recommend it. And we're just going to say this says day 1. So this is going to put day 1 in every column. Then we're going to do a find and replace. And the find and replace is actually going to be update day text with day 7. And so it's going to search in the day column, and it's going to look for the value of 7. And then in that new column, and you can see, look, it's already there, day underscore text. It's there for me. I can just click it. And I'm going to replace what's in there with day 7. And that's it. Like I said, this is actually building a JSON for me behind the scenes. So this is the actual code that's doing it. If you want to come and edit this code, you're welcome to do that. If you want to edit with the user interface, no problem. And you can actually see the whole set of rules. So this is the whole set of rules for all of this cleaning. So for those 4 steps, there's all the rules for those four steps. So we can now process this, and it says, hey, if you have any downstream events like PK analysis or post-processing, we're getting rid of those. We don't have any, so we don't need to worry about it. So say, yep, go ahead. So this is now submitting this new item or this new set of data cleaning rules, and it's going to start running. And so this one's going to run, and then we can look at the data set that comes out. So this is a really handy way to do it iteratively. You can stay right on the screen you're on. You can come back to this at any time if you need to revisit it. And I'll show you that as soon as this one is done. So we'll let it finish up here. It should take maybe another 30 seconds or less. It's done. I can preview the clean data, and we go back, and there we are. We have day text, day 7, and day 1 lined up. It's a little weird because day 7 is in front of day 1, but we could sort that data and fix it. So I can just put that in here. Actually, I'm going to close this and come back to our input data. And now you can see there's actually 4 files under here. So there was the original file that was the first one, and then you can see these 2 that I just cleaned here on this video. And we can reload this. So if I grab this clean data again, what it'll do is it says, oh, I know the rules that you wanted for that. I'm going to load them right up. So it's going to load them up, and then I can even type here sort. Oh, I want to sort the data. Perfect. So in data sorting, I'm going to sort by subject. And then I'm going to sort by the day. And then I'll do treatment at the end if we need to do it. And great, that's it. So now this should sort, and it should sort with day 1 at the top instead of day 7 at the top after it's operating. So let's wait for that output to come out, and then we can take a look at it. But there's so many rules that you can add. We have text manipulation tools if you need to trim out white space. A lot of times you'll get data and there's extra spaces in there. We have an automatic rule. You say, hey, trim out the white space. We have rules for numeric conversions. We have so that you can convert from nanograms to milligrams, or you can convert from nanograms per mil to micromolar. So you put in your molecular weight and you do your conversion. We can add columns, you can replace columns, anything that you need to do, you can do it right here in data cleaning. So there we go. So look, you can see day 1 is first now, and then day 7, and there you go. It's sorted the way we want it for the analysis. It actually doesn't matter if it's sorted because it's going to group it separately, but it looks nicer when you have your data this way. So that's a quick overview of our data cleaning rules. And once you're done with the clean data, you can move right on to the PK analysis, but I'll save that for the next video.